It's 7 o'clock. Please call the meeting of the South Amherst Village Council to order for October 10th, 2022. And we will begin with the Lord's Prayer for those who wish to participate. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever.
let us join in the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jeffers.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Mashari.
Here.
Sisky. Here. Sis. Here. Troy.
Here.
I was informed before the meeting started that our law director will probably not be here along with the assistant law director. They have other duties at this point in time. We next move on to the approval of the agenda with the additions of the 2023 tax rate, the resolution for the park donation, and the insurance claim for the shed at the water tower. Please do.
Okay. The tax budget is actually the tax rate, and it will be a resolution. So it will be moved down. It'll be resolution 670-22. And then it's just discussion on the park donation. There is no resolution.
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda.
Second.
Mr. Tricky. Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Mashari.
Aye.
Sisky. Aye. Sis.
Aye.
Troy.
Aye.
Motion passed.
The minutes were emailed to you for the September 26th meeting. Are there any additions, corrections, deletions?
Make a motion, we accept the minutes presented.
Second.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Mashari.
Aye.
Sisky. Aye. Sis. Aye. Troy.
Aye.
Motion passed.
For empirical observation, there is no visitors here in the council chambers at this point in time. So we will move on. First thing I'll bring up is, my report is the recycle grant. I got the third quarter statistics. The tonnage that is being sent to be recycled. Compared to last year, we are only at 64% of what we were doing last year. I think maybe the website, if we could emphasize that a little bit more. Also, social media, if we can bring that to light. Last year, we got $2,719 through the efforts of these village residents for recycling. At this point in time, 64% of that would only be $1,740. So, and when you, like I say, we put the mulch in the playground, we use it for recycled paper within the town hall here. The amount that we get helps that we don't have to take it out of the general fund. The other thing that I have,
Dave, I'm sorry.
yes,
So, I would say 2 points on that. One, I'm curious how much of that has to do with the communication that has gone out by the solid waste district about the changes, so to speak, and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. So then I would say, I know that we're at 64%, is that what you said?
yes.
I'd be curious to see what, if the solid waste district would tell us overall, like from the county's perspective, what other municipalities are seeing. So if we're in line with, if our decrease is in line with like municipalities or the county as a whole, it may not be that big of a shocker. It might not be us, it might be, you know, a byproduct of something in general. So I'm not saying that that's not something for us to continue to encourage and promote
Sure.
recycling, but I would also say, I don't know that it's something we necessarily need to be concerned about if we're in line with where other municipalities are. So if that's something that we can find out and ask the county directly, that would be great to get that information.
But at one time it was that they weren't taking any glass, they are taking glass. I'm hoping that everybody received the flyer from the county commissioners. No? Okay, for those of you who
I
didn't,
did mail it out to council.
right, the first article on the inside of that is where the county commissioners have taken ARPA funds, and they are doing engineering to bring the sewer from the PQ1 plant on the west side of Lorraine down to the western end of the county here. They even have a small map, they have it even going out to the new high school. They're spending $814,400 on that. It's even gonna come further on down Quarry Road past Horniak Court to the Turnpike. I think it would behoove the village to, at this point in time, before the end of the year, contract with an engineer, whether it be the one that the county is using, which is K.E. McCartney or Bramhall or somebody, that we start doing the engineering for sewers. Because after the last mayors and managers meeting, we had this sidebar discussion about that, which a lot of them were learning through NOACA and some of the others, is when they want to give out grant money, they want it shovel ready. They don't want to wait for any type of engineering or anything such as that. We want to get in there and just start digging. Mr. Trey.
Is this what we had the meetings for back in March with the county commissioners? And we already said that Bramham would do it, and they said that same thing, that they're gonna bring it down to Horniak, and that was where they were stopping, and it was our responsibility to move it from there. And we keep asking the county for help, so I don't understand, I mean, based on what you're saying, it's still no different than what it was back in March.
Well, what I'm saying is, what we should do is, you know, or I can do it, contact the county, see where they're at. You know, I know, like I say, I've seen the surveyors out there myself, that, you know, we have to start taking some initiative to show what we need also. It would be a collaborative effort, like I say, with them. I don't know if they would provide any funds to help us out with that or not. If, you know, a road project, simple road project, you know, runs us quite a bit of money to do that, this is probably gonna be a little bit more, or a lot more. Mr. Turkey?
This is my point, but I guess maybe I didn't make it clear, was we made a motion and we told, you know, Bramham, whatever, I can never pronounce their name, engineering to start working on this and do a feasibility study and finding that all out. I thought that was already in the works, and they were gonna work with the county. Now, this is what I'm confused about.
Okay, I will check to see if they have started anything or not. Yeah. Mr. Uphill, and see if they started anything. It seems like, you know, it is going to be a possibility that students will possibly be here. I can't say they're gonna be here by the end of the year, that's for sure, but you know, they are making an effort. Which is more than we have seen in the past. And this is,
So I agree with Mr. Troike. I was under the impression, and I know that we brought it up since then, like what's the status of it? And it's sort of like the runaround in terms of what the status update is on it. At that point in time when they came in, it was like the county engineer, it was development. I mean, we had like the whole, all of the people were out in the audience there. I mean, my ask would be to see, so today's the 10th. So I would request that we have that entire crew back in on the 24th, because that would be our next actual council meeting, to see if that crew can come in on the 24th and then just give us an update in terms of what's what and who's done what based on what was said at that last meeting, and maybe we can work with the records clerk just to identify, I don't remember off the top of my head what that exact meeting was, so then we're just reminded of what the dialogue was, and so we're all on the same page. But I would certainly like an update, especially when, since then, the county development has come in and said, oh, we're doing the best that we can, and we've requested this money from Sheriff Brown. We're just getting a lot of different stories in here. It feels like, once again, the village of South Amherst is stuck behind the short end of two sticks.
If you phone calls me, you guys will be mentioned.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I'll see you around too.
Thank you.
That is all I have at this time. Move to the fiscal officer.
Everybody got a hard copy of the payment listing from 22nd to 16th. I forgot to send it to Laura to send. So if you have any questions, please let me know. You also received the South Amherst Mayor's Court financial reports for September, which for the first time includes the last year comparison. That was emailed as well. Okay, appropriation ordinance 293, as the email stated on Friday, there were things that I needed to change. And I didn't get any questions or anything back, so were there any? Okay. And then ordinance number 294 is going to be the actual transfer, or the, I'm sorry, I take that back. The actual advance to the park for the basketball, and then we will pay that back once the funds are received. Okay, so next up, we received a letter and donation from a resident asking for the money to be used however the park board sees fit. So I thought that was really nice. And I believe she came in and worked with Lori and the mayor on what to put on it. But so how this would work, since it's a donation, as long as I can get the understanding, she donated $2,000. She wants it spent in the park, so we will need to amend the certificate to the county and amend appropriations, which I can have that done for the next meeting on the 24th. So that's why we put it in for a vote.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Would you care to disclose the individual? I know they made a public announcement already.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
It was done in Palmer.
It's probably the best female athlete to ever come out of South Amherst High School, who's in the Heidelberg Hall of Fame.
Thanks, Donna.
So you're looking for a motion to amend the appropriation?
Yes. With the understanding that will be spent through park.
Okay. I make a motion to amend the appropriations by $2,000 to be spent on the park, derived from the park donation.
Second.
Discussion. I think on behalf of the administration, the council, the residents, a heartfelt thank you. Extreme thank you to Donna Palmer. And last I heard, she's still out there shooting hoops. So, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Sharman.
Aye.
Zeski. Aye. Sis. Aye. Sharkey.
Aye.
Okay, an update on the conversion. All the information has been pulled on the software that I think it is used for the administration purposes. And the question came up about, from Rita on the enforcement of penalties and interest on estimated tax payments. So, I believe it was discussed.
Yeah.
And you would like to talk about it.
Yeah, so the ordinance committee, we got together, reviewed the estimated tax credit penalty for the year 2022. And we're recommending that the penalty be waived for the tax year of 2022 and the year of 2023.
And I'll make a motion to waive the 2022 estimated tax penalty being paid in the year 2020.
Second.
Discussion.
I'm just gonna add something on top of that. So one of the things that ordinance committee had discussed was, what that communication will look like, because up until this point, obviously, residents understand. They may or may not have the knowledge about estimated taxes, they should, but they may or may not know, so that we'll just continue to communicate that we're gonna forego this in 2023 for calendar year 2022, but moving forward. So we'll continue to communicate that multiple times throughout that year, just so people know that they're prepared and not shocked and surprised in that following year.
Anything else? The transition has been,
Good so far. We should be live. It looks like the third week in October. So, once that happens, then people will actually be able to go to the Relay website, log in and do everything as, with all the full hours. So it's gonna be a learning experience, I think, for us on this end, because we have a different partner. So, we'll figure it out.
any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeffers. Aye. Jones.
Aye.
Ashari.
Aye.
Sexy. Aye. Sis. Aye. Chouwaki.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay, so we're gonna skip over the rates. Well, actually, we won't skip over the rates. Did everyone get the email that contained the tax rate? Okay, is there any questions on the tax rates? This is kind of like not a surprise, this is the same as what we budgeted. So we'll be voting on that when we get to the resolutions. The insurance claim for the water tower. So after we contacted the insurance, when we had the incident back on the 1st of June, it was determined that what they would cover was related to the actual incident of the quill breaking off in the water tower duction. So they did cover. So what we did was we went through, itemized all of the costs that were involved as far as the equipment that needed to replace, it was disconnected and then reconnected. And then there was some damage to the shed itself, so that had to be torn out and replaced. And then there was some discussion because they thought we had more damage caused by other things versus, which it most likely was. So we submitted $14,709.37. And they approved $14,128.52, and it was like a $580 difference. We have a $2,500 deductible, so it comes to just over $11,600 that they're going to reimburse us, which is good. So I just wanted to let you know where we stood on that because I'm going to go forward with accepting your payment. And that's that. Thank you. Thank you.
Move on to the records clerk.
Building and zoning reports were emailed out this afternoon. There were 15 building and 5 zoning for September. Final agenda. After discussion between myself, fiscal officer, and one council member, we're gonna do a procedural change. Thursday, she'll get a draft copy with the packet. That's not going to be the official one posted because we end up having too many things added last minute where we actually need a vote. So, absolute final copy will be, everything has to be in by Monday at 9. If you can still give me the stuff earlier, would be great. But like, that's the cutoff, and then we'll get it posted, the actual agenda, the final agenda.
Question.
To consist.
Did we have any infractions for zoning or, that we noticed?
Not
Just what was-
anything new.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Moving on to ordinance. There's some ordinances here. If there's any objections, we'll read this by title only.
Okay, ordinance number 1748-22, an ordinance repealing existing South Amherst codified ordinance sections 521.08, public nuisance, and 521.14, abatement of nuisances, and enacting new South Amherst codified ordinance 521.08, public nuisance, and 521.14, abatement of nuisance, and declaring an emergency.
Make a motion that we vote on 1748-22 to repeal and enact the codified ordinances. To declare emergency and to suspend all the rules.
Second.
Discussion. Having no discussion at this point in time. All those for the roll call for suspending the rules for ordinance 1748-22.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones. Shari.
Aye.
Seiski. Aye. Sis.
Aye.
Chouwaki.
Aye.
All those for passing ordinance 1748-22, roll call please.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Shari.
Aye.
Seiski. Aye. Sis.
Aye.
Chouwaki.
Aye.
All those for passing ordinance 1748-22 as an emergency, roll call please.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Shari.
Aye.
Seiski. Aye. Sis.
Aye.
Chouwaki.
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay, resolution number 667-22, contract agreement with HeyGov.com.
I move to enter into the contract with HICA.
Second.
Discussion. The experience with it?
Oh, yeah, so we had a Zoom meeting, and we discussed this ordinance committee a little bit, but just for the people that didn't hear, went really well. The IT department is what I was kind of blown away by, because when you have flubs in technology, you want to be able to talk to somebody, and when you're getting it in real time, it's even better. So they don't really deal with big companies, which is also nice. They deal with a lot of, obviously villages, small towns and stuff. So they're going to be more accessible to us and our needs. So yeah, I'm excited to get into it. I think it's going to help out a lot. And there's also training videos for the residents. So they can go ahead and go online and they make the training videos themselves. Very simple. There's an app. So a lot of pluses, not a whole lot of negatives.
So we discussed at ordinance committee previously that the council recommendation was that we would be doing a test on HeyGov before entering into the contract. And so based on Scott Jones's experience in his career in terms of technology, as well as what he discovered in the Zoom meeting and the attributes that HeyGov was able to provide, we were in the recommendation that we move forward with this contract. So just to give the balance of council some line of sight in terms of how that came to fruition without the actual testing that we had originally discussed.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Ashari.
Aye.
Sexy. Aye. Sis.
Aye.
Trustee.
Aye.
Motion passed. Resolution 668-22, contract agreement with Bramhall Engineering and Surveying Company, Fire Station Holding Tanks.
Make a motion that we accept resolution 668-22, the Brownell contract for fire station holding tank.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Ashari.
Aye.
Sexy.
Aye.
Sis.
Aye.
Trustee.
Aye.
Motion passed. Resolution 669-22, contract agreement with Bramhall Engineering and Surveying Company, Village Hall parking lot.
Make a motion, we accept resolution 669-22 for Bramhall Village parking lot paperwork, whatever they do.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Jones?
Was this the parking lot that we were looking into getting for the village out there? Okay.
So we're spending a substantial amount of money, we want it done right. Any other discussion? So no other discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Nay.
Ashari.
Aye.
Sexy.
Aye.
Sis.
Aye.
Trustee.
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay, resolution 670-22, 2023 tax rate.
Make a motion that we accept resolution numbers 667-22
670-22.
for the tax rate.
Second.
Discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Ashari.
Aye.
Sexy. Aye. Sis.
Aye.
Trustee.
Aye.
Motion passed. Appropriation ordinance 293.
Make a motion that we accept appropriation ordinance number 293.
Second.
Discussion? See no discussion?
Can you just for record, can you just remind me what appropriation 293 is for?
It is for, okay. So it was originally for the advance for the park grant. And then we added
grant?
the park grant.
Healthy places.
Increased payroll for park for service worker, clerk, increased payroll, income tax increase to cover the conversion, and mayor's court, computer fund, clerk for the Baldwin software for 2023.
Thank you.
Sure.
Mr. Trustee made a motion. Sisky seconded. Any other discussion? Seeing no further discussion, at this point in time, roll call.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Machiari.
Aye.
Sisky. Aye. Sis.
Aye.
Truggy.
Aye.
Motion passed. Appropriation ordinance 294, that was for the parking gates.
The actual.
I'll make a motion to approve the advance for the park.
Second.
Discussion? Then I think we should thank the park board themselves for pursuing that grant. The basketball court for it, and then we have quite a few of the public and other entities, some donations. I went from an idea to a reality. Well done, park board. Any other discussion? With no other discussion, roll call please.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Machiari.
Aye.
Sisky. Aye. Sis.
Aye.
Truggy.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Moving on to our boards, cemetery.
Nothing to report at this time. There is a meeting this Wednesday. It's at, what is this? Yeah, 6 o'clock. Yep. So 6 o'clock cemetery board meeting. If anybody would like to attend.
Moving next on to the park.
Okay, first shot dedication on September 30th, the park board along with the mayor and council members Machiari and Sisky dedicated the full-size basketball court that was made possible through the Lorraine County Public Health Healthy Places Grant. Generous donations from Dan and Stephanie Heister, Donna Palmer, volunteers Donnie Street and Virgil Flynn, Consumers Concrete, Alvarado Landscape, Schlechter Brothers, supporter Alan Januzzi, grant writer Stephanie Casco, the workers at Diggers of Ohio, the mayor and council. A special thank you was given to board member Thomas Pelletieri for all his hard work in spearheading the project. Park closing is November 1st, weather dependent.
Any other comments, questions, discussion about the park?
It's been a full house over there every morning. We have lots of people walking now.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
And every night.
Mm-hmm. It's good. I'm glad it's getting used.
Just want to say also, I've seen, when I've been over there for soccer practice, a few people even before we dedicated the court were already using it, so showing up with their basketballs, so that's good.
Moving on next to the SABPA,
Okay.
which you may.
Okay. Public hearings for the water rates will be held at the SABPA meetings on November 7th and 21st at 6:45 p.m. The first ordinance reading will be October 24th, then November 14th, with the final reading November 28th. It will be posted online and around town.
Will you forward me that list just so I can put it on social media too, please? Thank you. Okay. So the grant writer has submitted requests, federal requests for storm and water. Most likely we won't know anything until 2023, but the grant writer is still continuing to look for options and opportunities there. The water clerk is updating the contingency plan because the template of the EPA has been updated, so that's always fun. So she's working on that. She was hoping to get that completed this week, if not sooner. Data command, I talked about it last time. Data command is sending out these errors to the water operator as well as whoever else is on that list, which happens to be one of the board members who gets it at 1 a.m. These errors and these text messages that go off. I heard. So anyways, yeah, so the SABPA and the clerk are working with Data Command. So as of the last meeting, Data Command was sending a new modem because it's sending out these false errors. When the water tower went back up, everything was checked and supposedly everything was in good working order, but sometimes when things get up and running, you just never know. So as of the last meeting, I don't know if that modem has actually been received and updated, but that was something that they were working on. And they're also evaluating a potential hard line for the tower, because one of the things that Data Command said, it could be if Verizon is doing something to their system and network, and then it trips our system and network. So there's all of these variables that Data Command is telling the SABPA that could be contributing to it. But either way, it's been challenging to say the least. So the SABPA is exploring all options. They're not saying that it is or is not Verizon. They're just, working with what they have. And from what I understand, Data Command's customer service is horrific. So they're not getting a whole heck of a lot of answers. Do you have a question on that one?
Yeah, when you mean hardline, do you mean coming into the network, or are we putting in new coax for the antenna?
So I don't know what a coax is.
It's the feed that goes to the antenna to the transmitter.
So from what I understand, they were like a main line. They were talking about like an actual, like hardwired line.
But hardwired to what? To our network? This is what I'm just trying to figure out.
I don't know. I can ask.
I know you might not know it, but because with the buildings and grounds that we're gonna be talking about, again, we were talking about going underground.
Oh,
And-
cool.
Might run a line right to the water tower if that's what we need to do.
So what
In
I
fact,
will do,
I think there's a line already out there.
so what I will do is I will send an email between buildings and grounds and SABPA and remove myself from that, like in between, because I don't know what that means. And just let you guys navigate, because they know their system obviously way better than I do, and you know the system probably way better than anybody does. So
Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
no, that's okay. I don't know. I'm glad you asked, other than assuming. So I'll just send an email so you guys can do that communication, because they may not be aware that that's happening, and that may be advantageous to everybody involved then. God bless you. Okay, so I'll send that. Okay, and then the last piece, which I was hoping that the law director would be here, and this was something that we brought up last time. And so one of the big questions that SABPA has talked about was this: what do we do next with the water, right? And I know that that's something that we've all talked about. What do we do next with the water? And the SABPA just wants to understand what's like the legal process, if any sort of legal process, because it is considered a public utility. So does it have to go through the board, SABPA board and council? Does it actually have to go to vote? Is there a legal decision? They're looking for something specific from the law director that says, yes, this, no, this, in terms of what that legal process is or looks like. If that doesn't fall within the scope of what the law director's contract calls for, if there's any sort of fees that would be associated with it, they would want to know what that would look like. I don't know if it does or does not fall within his contract, but I don't want to assume that it does, given history. And then they were, also like, they want to make sure that the tower is included in that, in terms of what, like, legally who gets the tower, who has to take over the tower if it goes private to rural water. So there's just a lot of pieces, parts. So my question to the records clerk would be, based on how the chain of communication goes to the law director, should I send it like sort of this laundry list of questions to you and then you forward to the law director? I don't want to have like too many people. What's the best process to get this moving as quickly as possible?
Send it to me,
Okay,
and then I'll add some stuff to it,
okay,
and then we'll go, and I'll make sure to copy you on it.
okay. And then I would say the water clerk too, please. Okay, thank you. And then that's all I have.
Anything else? EPA. Moving next on to committees, buildings and grounds.
Buildings and grounds, we met on Sunday, October 2nd. We discussed quite a few things. They are on the agenda. I'll just kind of go down the list. But the HVAC, we have different bids available, and it was our recommendation from the Buildings and Grounds Committee that we should go with Shagavac and put in the actual dehumidifier. We think that's the best way to do that, and that's the path that we would like to take.
I'd like to make a motion to go with Shagavac for the $4,500 for the dehumidifier, with the exception that we would get the gutter situation resolved before we have the dehumidifier installed. And we're still waiting for estimates, so. 4,500.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on that?
Yeah, 4,500.
Please.
I'm just out of curiosity, so Shagabec will, I mean, that doesn't do anything to our warranty with Gunlock or whatever. That's okay, right?
From what I understand, and this also has a warranty.
Okay, so. I guess we'll find out.
Has the dehumidifier come up in conversations that we've had with all of these other techs and companies that have come in and looked at the system, or is this the first time? And I'm not saying, I'm just actually asking out of curiosity, has it come up previously? And has anybody said it is or is not the solution?
Well, we had 3 or 4 different companies give us solutions for the moisture. All of them were different.
I will say that Gunlock, their last time they were here, before we got the proposal for the heating of the air or whatever they were gonna do, that was what the tech on the ground said. I don't know what the solution is, if it's a whole system dehumidifier or some other solution. So, but when Gunlock sent the proposal and I called to make sure, that was their only proposal.
Was inclusive of a dehumidifier?
No, it was the
Oh.
heating of the
To
air.
heat, and that was like 20,000.
So the tech said dehumidifier, the guy who walked in the door, but then when you got the proposal, it didn't say anything about a dehumidifier, just said heat the air. Short version, right, yeah.
Another one wanted to mess with the control, oh, I'm sorry. Another one wanted to mess with the controls. And we all talked about the gutters and the moisture, and that's why I said that we need to do that part as well.
Ms. Leskey?
Yeah, I just was wondering if I remember correctly, when we were talking in that meeting, because you said for 4,500, but that was, we had talked about that maintenance.
Yeah,
Did we not? So do we need
That
to
was
include that?
Additional, but we can add that.
I mean, because we talked about that, didn't we? The 1,565 per month, they'll come out they'll come out, check it and clean it twice a year. So I just wanted to, do we need to reflect
do
that?
I need to modify my motion to reflect that? Okay, all right. Okay, and there was a second.
Well,
After this one, okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Okay, Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Shari.
Aye.
Sexy.
Aye.
Sis.
Aye.
Sharkey.
Abstain.
Okay, motion passed.
I will make an additional motion to approve the extended warranty with a cost of $1,565 a month.
Is it a warranty or is it a maintenance?
It's a 5-year, a monthly maintenance agreement,
Okay.
$1,565 a month.
There's a motion on the floor.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Richard.
Aye.
Sexy.
Aye.
Sis.
Aye.
Druggy.
Aye.
Motion passed.
All right, next thing on the part was relocating the internet wires. We discussed that. We have a bid to go overhead from Holland, but we pretty much decided, or we recommend that we go underground, mainly for maintenance purposes. We don't have anything above us anymore. We don't have to worry about people hitting it, falling down, trees knocking it down. It's all the way around to go underground. Jeannie was going to get a estimate on that, but we'd like to go with the underground for the internet wires going to the fire department.
Please.
We talked about this being Dennis Hebner's responsibility since it's his building. I did speak to both Holland and Dennis, and he was supposed to have the estimates back today. I haven't seen anything.
For me to interject, this evening, I noticed when walking in, there was now some markings where they defaced, well, we can't deface that parking lot. Where they put some lines on there where we're to go across. I think that's a start there. So when you do call somebody, you have a better idea of how to relocate this.
Okay, we talked about the street garage, and at this time, we don't feel that it's the best interest of the village to insulate that. The type of heating that's in there, I mean, it can be kind of shut down and turned on. It's a radiant style heating. So you only need to really have heat when you're actually in there. I do know that the water department has a pump that has to be in a heated space at all times. We suggested they put it into like a hot box, where it's an enclosure and it has heat just for that particular item. There's no need to heat that whole building. There's baseboard heating that's available inside the office area, and so they can keep that kind of warm if they want to. But there's, to heat the whole building, it's not costly. That's to do that. So the Buildings and Grounds is not gonna take any action on that. The other thing that we talked about is the expanding of the street garage. Right now, David is getting some bids. I think you guys all got a couple bids today from him, and so that's up for further discussion. The next two items, I'm actually gonna turn this over to Jeannie, is the holding tanks and gutters.
Can I just ask you a question real quick? So you said that you recommended the SADK for the water pump in a heat box. Did you recommend that to them actually?
No,
Okay. Would you like me to communicate that to them? That's all, thank you.
Okay, so you turned over gutters to me and the holding tanks.
Right.
So I reached out to 3 gutter companies. One was actually one that the mayor had already got earlier this year. And when I spoke with him, he said that when they were out here to do the estimate for the gutter guards, they noticed that the gutters were not draining properly and they were flowing back into the building. And so I turned it all over to David because it was like, well, can I come now or can I come this time? And I want David to be going around with them. So he has reached out to, I think it's Bulldogs was the one company, the boys that only do gutters, that's probably not the right name, but it's kind of like that. And one other company, and so he will be working with them this week to get estimates. And the request was to clean the gutters, jet rod the gutters, map the gutters with a sketch, and if there were blockages to jet rod and do any repairs. And it was for the fire station, this building, and the police garage. So that takes care of that.
I did pass on too, and got in touch with the company that is going to be moving over here in the Old Johnny's Flea Market. It's called Economy.
Yeah, that was
Drain.
the other one.
They came out here and to map jet rod, locate if there's any type of obstruction or breakage or whatever have you. It's $399 an hour, which is typical. And of course, they do not charge you a travel fee, and there's a minimum of 4 hours. So we have that. I think that's, we have one of the books.
What was the name of that company?
Economy, located right on Liberty Avenue, on the east end here, close to Churmansville. I think we'll be moving over here.
And there's not much to report on the fire department holding tanks because we had to get ordinance passed, so I assume that it will move forward from there.
And that's it for the grounds this time.
By the way, I want to give a shout out to Dr. Trent, who came over here and planted the planters, and we had a frost this weekend. It's probably going to really do them in right now, but she did a good job of planting them, fertilizing them, and making sure they're watered. They were really quite bountiful this year. So thank you, Dr. Trent. Moving on to the street sidewalk and service.
Mr. Troy asked me, yeah, that's right, complaint.
Oh. We had a complaint, I apologize for that, I was daydreaming. So we had a complaint from a resident that when Columbia Gas was here, because of the dump trucks, they tore up Kenwood due to the weight. And so Kenwood, Vivian, and Charles, they're asking when that's gonna be repaid. I did answer back to the resident and said that we're considering doing tiring and chipping, but there are some questions as far as loose, chips going down into the sewers and a few other odds and ends. And so we are looking into it, but we don't have the answers at this time. But they were asking if we could go back to Columbia Gas, and I do not know that answer.
I too, before we even did the walkthrough, which I did with the director's clerk and some of the people from InfoSource and also Columbia Gas, I did mention to them that the north end of Kenwood Street where they did the staging area, somebody reached out to me of having that addressed. We were supposed to address it. I haven't heard anything either. So I can verify that. Looking at it says equipment.
Under equipment, I'd like to make a motion for David Valentine, the service worker, to purchase a snow blower for town hall.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Please.
That is in the budget as far as I understand, correct?
It would be within that $50,000 that we set aside.
Just making sure.
The only thing I have to say is, since I've been in this position, I've always shoveled by hand, which I thought was good exercise and got the job done too. So I have a few more years on it. It can be done that way too. So any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Shari.
Aye.
Zeisky. Aye. Sis.
Aye.
Trotty.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Moving on to audit finance.
Only thing I have is that we have an audit meeting tomorrow night at 7 p.m. here at Town Hall.
So just start with finance.
Right, finance first, okay, at 7.
What, can you say that again? Finance at 7?
Tuesday.
Who's going to be on the agenda for the finance committee?
I believe it's gonna be me and probably Jeannie.
What is the agenda? Discuss.
Review of the budget to the end of the year and 2023.
Ordinance.
Ordinance meeting November 10th, second Thursday of the month. No, shoot. What's that? No, is that wrong? We just had one October 6th.
had it.
We just had
Changed it. Yeah.
Well,
You're
no. No, I know, but I'm saying like, we moved it up to the 6th to accommodate, but it's always the second Thursday. So Jerry's birthday, November 10th, cupcakes, and ordinance meeting.
Cupcakes.
I'm gonna make a note of it right now, bring cupcakes.
Vegan.
Dixie Girls.
Vegan, yeah.
Anything else for those ordinances?
That is all.
Move on to safety.
Oh, hold on.
At a time out.
Oh, okay, sorry, this is for a later one. I just had it written on our ordinance. Okay, I apologize.
Moving on to safety.
Oh, I have something.
Oh, okay. We're still at a time out.
Sorry. We discussed the condition of the building of the old ice cream parlor. And I didn't know what committee that it would go under, so we discussed it at the ordinance committee because it would be a violation of one of the ordinances for that building. And so I wanted to propose to council that I follow up with getting the building torn down. If everybody was okay with that, then I would work on it.
Make a motion, Jeannie works on tearing down that building to the nuisance.
Second.
Discussion. More discussion? Second roll call vote, please.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Mashari.
Aye.
Seiski.
Aye.
Sis.
Aye.
Treffy.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Now we'll move on to safety.
Okay. So it has been planned so far that parade would be on Sunday if the fire department was going to have a parade. And that we would do trick or treat on Monday. Forgive me, I don't recall the times. And I know that it's been posted on Facebook. However, Chief Frazier approached me and said, I thought it was gonna all be on Sunday. And why isn't it going to be on Sunday? It seems to make more sense that it would be all on Sunday. Because I'm gonna have to have guys come in for 15 minutes for the parade on Sunday and then be here on Monday. I know he talked to the mayor about it. I'm not quite sure where the confusion came from. The ordinance that we passed was a special event coverage compensation of $40 per hour. And we had Memorial Day minimum of 2 hours paid, and then Halloween parade and trick or treat minimum of 4 hours paid. Always in the past, it's been 2 different days, Sunday parade and trick or treat, unless it happened to fall that way. It was, last year he said it was under one. So he asked if we could reconsider and change it to Sunday, but even if we did that, I think that Dennis told me that they decided to have the parade and that it would be 1:30 line off, 2 o'clock step on. That's what he told me. And then, so that would exceed over 4 hours. So I told the chief that I would ask what council thought, so.
It has not been posted on Facebook, at least from our page, we have not posted anything about the details of Halloween.
Right.
Just because we were in limbo, we didn't know what was happening, so.
I did see something out there though, for the 31st, because David sent me an
It
invite.
was just discussion on chatter on
From the mayors and managers meeting, I know all the other municipalities except Elyria is having this online. I pass that information on to the last council meeting. Records clerk,
The information that fire chief sent to me, which would be at the normal time, the parade kickoff is at 2:30. The parade starts at 3. Past history, it's only been the past few years where Halloween has gone back to being on the 31st. Previously, we have had the parade and trick or treat on the same day. I would have to go back, look at records, but I at least know when my kids were still in school, it was on the same day. So it's only been maybe in the last 5 to 8 years that we've switched to 2 different days.
Mr. Trachey,
This was discussed quite a bit, as you said, 5, 6 years ago. I'm actually for it all being on Sunday, just as the fact that you don't have to dress the kids up twice. But it was pretty much decided that we were gonna always do it on Halloween night, because that's what the other municipalities are doing. The reason being was that the residents complained that truckloads and busloads of kids were being brought here on Halloween, and they didn't think that that was right. That was their complaint, and that is why we switched it so that we would be with everybody else. So,
I have to verify that. Any further discussion?
I'm with Mr. Tricky. I think that it's advantageous for us to have it on, and I said the same thing. I think it's one of my first years of council, we had this conversation. And I don't know that we're having actual busloads of kids coming in. I think it gives us an opportunity to make it a special day for us and our residents. And, I sort of think it's 6 one way, half dozen the other, but if we're able to streamline our safety forces and have everybody out there at once, and make a day of it, I would prefer, my recommendation would be to have it on Sunday, parade and trick or treat to follow.
I think it would be advantageous too, that if the people who want to participate in handing out candy, you go to the houses that have a porch light on or something such as that. If you don't wish to do that, you can turn on the porch. You can be the Grinch that stole Halloween. Mr. Jones?
So are we saying anything about making it to Sunday, or are we saying future dates was just on one day? Is that where we're at right
Or just for this day?
now? Sorry, are we just discussing then, making that motion to do that all on one day, or are we saying for future Sundays? What are we saying there?
The chief would like to have it this year on Sunday.
So do we need a motion to do that? Or just?
His reasoning was, he didn't put in his budget for it.
Sure,
2 days.
yeah.
That's basically
Yeah.
what it is.
No, I get that.
Mr. Trachey?
and to go with Jeannie, I agree. I did not post it on Facebook, but I do remember inviting her.
South Amherst Fire Department.
Yeah, I just.
Is that where it was out there? Okay, that's where, I was like, somebody posted it, and so I was like, okay, I just invited other people to it.
No,
So-
Jeannie just found it in South Amherst Fire Department. I did not put anything up because I knew, I'm sorry to interrupt. I did not put anything up because we hadn't decided about the parade, and there was just some of that stuff in limbo, so. We don't, on our page, we don't have it.
I agree, I just was confused because it's like, I do remember forwarding that, so.
Ms. Bashar?
The other thing about the parade too, I was at the parade of bands for the school on Friday night, and in their program that they passed out said Halloween parade, and the time was to be determined. So they must not be aware of the time either. They'll need to be notified. But I'll make a motion that we change it to Sunday.
To,
I make a motion to change the trick or treat event to Sunday from 6 to 7:30, I think was the time, and have the parade on Sunday day between, with lineup at 2:30 and starting at 3.
okay, so Sunday, 30.
Just with the contingency that we are very, very, very direct with the whole village on this, because obviously there's like false information out there from a Facebook post, you said from the fire department, right? So if we can ask then the fire department to put it on the marquee maybe, that's something we could do.
It's a great idea.
Just because I know there's already people out there that know, my wife included, so all I have to do is tell her, but I'm saying, just so we can spread the word.
I think a little bit of more communication between the safety forces we would have eliminated this, and that the fire department didn't know if they were gonna have a parade. And then I said, so, okay. Roll call, please.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Ashari. Seskey.
Aye.
Sis.
Aye.
Trukey.
Aye.
Also make sure it gets to the paper.
We're still in safety. Anything else at this point in time?
Yes.
The fire department has an open house this Saturday. So, if you can just go to that, any friends, relatives. and such as that.
Can you explain, just because I've never been, so what is this?
Basically, you roll the trucks out there, you bring your kids up here, they'll let you sit in the truck. They have some posters, they have some memorabilia out there that you can look at, some of the pictures of the history of that fire department that's been serving this village very well for as many years as they've been around. And some food and snacks.
Okay, cool.
It's just a little socialization.
Nice.
And that's why the monument is red this week, because it's Fire Prevention Week. Anything else as far as safety? Moving on to community and economic development,
Nothing at this time.
special committees.
Mayor.
I just had something to add for community economic development. So Jerry did an amazing job on the newsletter, and I feel like more eyes should see it. So I don't know what we have to do, but I would recommend getting a sign with a QR code to put out front, if that's anywhere possible. Spread the word. To lead to the newsletter.
There's there's printed copies here at the front desk.
Okay, cool. I just don't
And
want
we could do a QR code, but what I've done is I've added it into the Facebook queue
Uh-huh.
to repost it every week on like a Sunday or something.
Sweet.
Special committee. Administrative.
Okay, so, I would like to make a recommendation to modify the, service workers' job description. There is a line in there that for cleaning town hall, and we already have a company that does the cleaning, I believe, twice a month. They're doing a very fine job and at a reasonable price. So I would like to modify that description to be described as maintenance for the town hall, but not cleaning. And then also David's been learning the zoning. And so he's gonna be possibly taking over the inspections and approving the permits. And Lori would be doing the administration piece of it, so there will be a change to her job description as well. So I would like to make a motion to make those changes.
Second.
Discussion? Again, in my opinion, whatever it's worth, I think, we're paying the cleaning company for coming in here for less than an hour, twice a month. Basically, let's say maybe an hour and a half or 2 months, paying $200. I think, the utilization of our worker would not be that much different. It doesn't take much to vacuum and to empty the waste cans. So I think with the amount of money that we're spending right now, and I think it's really extensive that we're spending all this money, I'd like to see keep it in-house. That's only my opinion. Any other discussion? Yes, sir.
And this is not a diss by any means whatsoever. I just know that, I work in an office and I empty trash and I also vacuum. So is this something that you would do?
I could
Just
do it.
save $200 or something?
They say, my thing is, I propose instead of doing it once every 2 weeks, I'll do it once a week.
Okay. No, I just want to know. I didn't know.
I swept up a lot today. Mr. Trojan.
With the recent COVID, I would be much more comfortable if we had a company come in here and do it professionally than if we had somebody else that's in here. As a person that was hospitalized with COVID, I particularly don't want to get it again, and I prefer that we had somebody come in that's a professional and clean the building.
And again, from what I've seen and observed firsthand, they're vacuuming and they're emptying the waste baskets, they wipe down the counters. They're really not doing any sanitizing, cleaning the bathrooms. At one time, the police chief would clean the bathrooms and you could smell it, quite a bit with this fabulosa that he used. I'm not saying he could do that, but, it can be done. Yes, sir.
I've been on council now 7 years, and in 7 years' time, this is the cleanest I've ever seen this building, and the bathrooms. So I don't know who did it before, but it wasn't, nobody swept that I know of. So, or cleaned or anything like that. I feel that this is the way we should stay.
Discussion.
I do. I'm going to. It's $100 every 2 weeks. You had 3 people in here. They clean the bathrooms, which was not getting done on a regular basis before the cleaning crew came. So what you're asking, council, is that you will clean the bathrooms, empty the trash, vacuum, wipe down all the surfaces.
Yeah, I've done it before.
Okay.
I
It wasn't going on before we hired the company.
was doing quite a bit of vacuuming. I
Oh
don't know.
my God. I was calling grapes on myself, but I'm sorry, I worked here 10 years and it was not.
Roll call, please.
Jeffers.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Mashari.
Aye.
Sisky.
Aye.
Sis.
Aye.
Truggy.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Anything else as far as the special committee is concerned? Please.
Just to add, so one of the things that we had talked about at ordinance committee that would be applicable to the administrative was just getting a clear understanding around like some SOPs and administrative functionalities, including like this GoGov, HiGov, what's it called?
Hey,
Hey Gov, yeah. Hey Gov. So one of my recommendation would be that the admin committee will meet in December for a date TBD, but to really develop the SOPs around some of the functionalities with the Google Suite, with the Google Suite and Hey Gov and some of these things. So as we roll out into 2023, not necessarily something that would apply like to specifically to records clerk or to fiscal officer, but just some of the things where council would actually be utilizing and touching as well as the service worker, just to develop those. So we can form who those would be, but I know myself, Jeannie, and I think that Scott had all volunteered to do that in December, but, so I just wanted to make that recommendation and put it on the record.
Anything else at this point in time?
I have something under miscellaneous. Can we add the law director report back into the agenda? I'd like to just see, I know that we have a law director on contract, and we previously had the law director's report on the agenda, and it's not been on there this year, and quite frankly, I don't really know what we're paying for as a village for the law director, and this is not a knock against the law director, we just don't talk through it, so I would like to see that added onto the agenda, so we, if, you know, we're like stepping over pennies here to clean a bathroom, and we have a law director on contract, I'd like to see what that role is actually performing and from a function.
So noted. Mr. Trickett.
All right, on the miscellaneous, just curious about the move of the fiscal officer into the new office area. Has that been finished yet?
No.
Fine.
Okay, I've got a very good start. We're waiting for Holland to set it up so that I can move all my computers into there. So that's what we're I would imagine we were shooting for the end of the year. I think it'll be before Thanksgiving. And the cemetery clerk is aware that she's gonna be moving into the BPA office as well.
There was a motion on that. That's why I was asking. I mean, I don't want to push the cemetery or anything. I mean,
It's clear.
but I was just curious.
It's clear.
She's been working real hard.
They're gonna make millions off of recycling.
Millions. Yes.
Millions.
That's true, the recycle money will be up.
Yes.
The landfill will be overflowing. At this point in time, since we covered everything on the agenda, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you very much for coming.
This is a record. This is like a record. What am I gonna do?
You're so efficient, nice job.